Hey guys, welcome back. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for all of the tremendous feedback on my previous video on how I make desk covers using Canva. I'll make sure to go ahead and link that below. Um, in this video, I want to go into detail with you guys on how I make my candle labels. Now, I do use Canva. I do make candle label templates for other people. I sell them on my Etsy shop, and I will link that down below. The templates are pretty easy. Me personally, I prefer to use Canva, not just for myself, but for other people as well, solely because Canva is super user friendly. I'm going to show you guys how to make two completely different labels. So this one right here is just one that I put together. It's very cute. Eucalyptus and spearmint. This was a label that I used to use at one point. And then I'm going to go into something a little bit more complex, which is a label that is like this one. This is one of the labels that I currently use, not at this moment, but that I plan to use. And I thought this would be a fun example to show you guys. It's kind of like 1920s theme, kind of like a ticket style. You don't see my business name here or my candle name here, which is Kindle and Flame. So I'm going to leave this blank so you guys can kind of imagine like what you guys could put here. I probably do like two examples also. Canva's website. I will link the website down below also. Now, they do keep track of your designs and they have different things on here like cards, flyers, Instagram stories, which a lot of you guys, I would recommend utilizing this as well for your social media marketing. So you guys can get one like New Year's goal, for example, or, this or that. So the first one we're going to do is this guy right here. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and we'll add another page. So with this here, we have an element. We have the same one here, which I rotated. We have some fonts. Usually what you want to have on your candle label is, of course, your company name, which I just put my YouTube name here. You can have your logo on there if you'd like. It is not required, but definitely you want to have your company name there so people can know who made this, right? Your candle name, you want to have your scent notes on it. Also where you pour. You don't have to put hand poured in so-and-so X, Y, and Z. I just put hand poured in Baltimore, Maryland. That's where I am. You guys can put handcrafted, the type of wax you have. I use coconut wax. And then you definitely want to have the weight of the candles. Usually it's the net weight. So it's not the weight of the candle wax plus the vessel. You guys don't want to add that on it because let's say, for example, if you put that your candle is 10 ounces, but it's really not, it's 8 ounces. You don't want to do that. Definitely want to make sure you label your labels correctly with how much weight is in it. I also include grams as well. So we're going to go ahead down here and we're going to start new. So generally what I'll do first is go through and see exactly what I want on here. So we have our elements where we got these cute like watercolor pastel-esque flowers from some eucalyptus on there, which is really pretty. So on Canva, you guys can go to the elements tab. So what I'm going to do for the sake of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and copy this one and then just drag this down here. Now, when you click on any of your elements or anything on your blank canvas, essentially, you have a whole list of different options. You have delete, duplicate, lock it. When you lock it, which I will go into this also, it can't be moved. You can't do anything to it. This just helps you so when you're moving around and doing other stuff in Canva, you don't accidentally move it out of place. You also can create a link, which you guys don't really need this. Transparency, you can play around with the depth of the color. And then you can copy the style or you can change the position, which we will go into this as well. On this side, you have the option to flip, crop, adjust, filter, or effects. Effects is some cool, funky stuff you can do. I kind of just wanted to flow on the page. So now what you're going to do is you're going to add your text. The name of this specific candle is a name that I do have for my eucalyptus and spearmint candle. It's called Pacifica, who is a goddess of the goddess of herbs and meditation. So what better way to name my eucalyptus and spearmint candle, which would be used for relaxation and meditation and, I mean, all that good stuff. So, and plus I really love Greek mythology too. When you guys are coming up with your candle names, I always say just find a niche really. And if you feel like, hey, I don't have a niche or I just don't really know what direction I'm going in, just do what you like. Just center it around things that you like. So let's say if you guys are into folklore, you guys can make some folklore inspired names for your candles or make your labels inspired by folklore. If you guys are into like, vampires, werewolves, chupacabras, if you guys are into Loch Ness monster, like whatever you guys are into, right? If you want a Yeti, you guys can do it. You do what you want, right? If you're into Greek mythology, you guys can do stuff more in the realms into toward like Aries, Pasithea, Demeter, Hades, Zeus, Athena. You guys can do whatever you want. But I always say just make sure it's close to home for you. Just something to think about when it comes to finding names, because I know that can be like the toughest part. Now I'm going to name, Pasithea. Now the fun part, we're going to play around with the text. But before I do that, let me lock this. So these don't go away. So now, see, these cannot be moved. So I can't accidentally do anything to it. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and play with the fonts. And again, Canva gives you so many different options to play with font wise. You guys will see a lot that has like these little crowns here, as I mentioned earlier in the video. They are exclusively for Canva Pro members. However, there are many, as you guys can see as well, without the crown. And those are just free to use without the membership. It's completely free. Now I'm going to go ahead to elements. And now I want to have a line here, just like a line of separation, basically similar to this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and play around with the color also, so it can match some of these. So when I choose a line, I've already had pre-selected this one, but generally just go to elements. You can go to see all. They have so many different types of lines that you guys can choose from. I usually just use this one, very basic. I want people to relax when they see this label. So you guys can size it like this, or you can just make it smaller. I'm actually going to go with this really pretty like mint green color. Now I am going to bring this down. And now I have my bar, which is here, which I'm just going to make a little bit smaller. And you know what? I actually do really like this font also. It's very like bam, but we're going to make it a little bit cute. We're going to make it a little different for this one. I think I just might go back to Brittany. I want to make sure I utilize a lot of free options. That way you guys can see the variety without the paid subscription. I normally only keep the candle's name as the biggest thing that's showing, and I do see that a lot as well. Sometimes people will have their candle name teeny tiny small. You want to make sure it's like bam, like it's pow, boom, like it's out there. Like you want to make sure that's the first thing that they see is the name of your candle. Now what we're going to do is add our business name. If you guys have a logo, now's the place. I have a lot of stuff here. Okay, we're going to use my logo, which means something to me. It may just look like a bunch of triangles, but for all my zodiac friends out there, this is basically surrounding me and my son's zodiac, our cardinal, well, our mode, which is cardinal. I'm a Cancer. Yes, I cry often, and my son's a Capricorn. He's cool. And then also basically like my water symbol. So when you guys come up with your logo, it can either be something personal to you guys that kind of celebrates like who you guys are, or you could just make something really pretty that kind of also celebrates like your candle business essentially, or your bath and your bath and body line, like whatever you guys do. So, I mean, that was pretty easy. You guys see, it was very simple. You guys can play around. If you have like a larger logo, you guys can place that up there. You guys see how you can label it, how to align everything on there, how you can play around with different things. Even if you want to try something different, if you guys go to elements, you guys can go here and see that there are so many different options. For example, these stickers, which are good for social media. Again, if you guys do like the Insta post, the Insta story post, or regular Instagram post, you got the different stickers. You guys can get pretty interactive with that. Charts, which I mean, I don't need to use this any. I really don't use this. Grids, which I can actually show you guys how all this work. If you guys want to see a video with me going deeper into Canva to give you guys like a rundown on how to do a lot of these things and play around with different functions, and I definitely can do that. Um, Coronavirus, we got that right here. We have the gradients, bold foliage, zodiac symbols. That be me. That be me. So it's all kinds of stuff that's on here, simple drawing objects. And you guys can also draw your own things and upload as well. Like, for example, here are some pictures that I drew myself. I use Procreate. So I got some of my things. Again, if you draw something or if you make something or if you have a photo that you want to include on your label, just go to Effects, Background Remover, and then it'll take the background off for you. I mean, at some point it's going to stop. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it just come out like this. She cute, she cute. You can do all of that. So the possibilities are literally endless. Okay, so we can go ahead and download this. Now we're only going to download the second page, which is a new one that we just did. So you guys have the option of doing some pretty simple labels. And now this one, which I just love this one. This one's a lot more complex. I did a lot to get this, okay? So we're going to go through step by step of what I did. Now, you guys will see, because with this one, we will have to play around a lot with positions and the transparency. So this one is a little bit more complicated, but I wanted to have something fun. Like, I love the 1920s era as far as like when it comes to jazz and the dancing and the style, right? Like, who doesn't? So I wanted to kind of do like a ticket stub type situation thing going on. I wanted to have some really nice fonts that kind of match like how Josephine is, but then I also wanted to boom, starring. Get it? For the fragrance notes, starring rose, vanilla, bergamot, ylang. So this isn't a rose scent. I didn't buy this from anywhere. It just looked cute up here. And then roaring in Baltimore, Maryland. How cute is that? So like roaring's funny. It's for like roaring in Baltimore, Maryland. Cocoa apricot wax, and then 9 ounces, 255 grams. Make sure you have that. So we're gonna go ahead and add a page. Now, what I did was I went to Elements. Let me make this bigger. I went to Elements, and you literally can type in anything. So you can type in sticker, boom, shmoney. Again, you guys see the crown on a lot of things, pro. But then you also will get a lot of things that are free, and it'll say free. Literally my favorite word, free, okay? What we're gonna do is type in, if you want to do it with me, no pressure. I'm gonna type in ticket shape. Add that there. This is our ticket shape. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is go ahead and align it. So again, we want to make sure it's in the middle on both sides. Now, I'm gonna lock it. And this so I don't move it around. And it lets you know that it's locked, your layers are locked, that's there. Now what we're going to do is go and get this super pretty frame, right? Now the problem is a lot of things in Canva that are cute that you actually do like, it does not like you back. So you have things that look like this, for example. Here she go. Now this is a problem. You see, this why? I can't stretch that, you know? So there are different options and things that you can do. You got to get real savvy and creative, okay? Now the problem is what we're going to do over here. So copy it, and then we're going to paste at some point. There we go. We're going to paste the same thing. Now we're going to line this one up over here as well. Make sure this is centered. And I want to make sure it's the same distance from the end on each side. So I want this side to have a certain amount of space there. This one as well, so it blends in. Now this is a problem. I'm going to go ahead and lock one side because I don't want to accidentally move that one around. However, this one, we're going to go ahead and crop it. So basically we want this, how this looks, we want this to look like, oh, we want to look like this. I'll probably add like a little sound effect in there. So we want this to be, oh. So what we're going to have to do is crop it. Okay, so essentially this works, right? But we ran into a problem, okay? You see how this fade, it's like gold, boom, stop here. So what you're gonna do, this one is unlocked still. We're gonna unlock both of them and just slide them around because now we're just gonna flip them. What we're gonna do is group. We're going to just click into an open space and then drag our bars. It's going to highlight both of these little Art Deco squares that we did, and we're going to group those. So when you group it, now it creates one piece. So I can move it like this freely, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull this back up, make sure it's centered in the middle and on the sides as well. Now, the fun part. We have to put our background. This one specifically, I found this one, which I just thought was beautiful. Like, I thought this was so beautiful. It reminds me of like the decorations, the decorational style around like the really old elevators. So I really like that one. And mind you, I typed in 1920. So everything that they have that's linked to the 1920s. Got some flapper ladies here. Won't use her. She's cute though. So you have literally all these different things. What I will say is some of these elements be careful with using because you don't want to get hit with copywriting, even if you're still having the paid membership. More so the ones that are like photos of people, for example. Here's the one that I use back here. And see, it's not as dark. So what we're going to do is the same exact thing essentially that we did with this. But first, I'm going to go ahead and lock this. That way I can't move it. And then I'm going to take this cute elevated thing and put it here. Now, the problem is we want to make it, ideally, I would like it to be directly behind here to where as though it's not overlapping with these triangles, but we're going to do what we can do with Canva. So what I'm going to do is line this up. So now what I'm going to do is highlight both of these and I'm going to group these together. So now it's one piece. Okay. Now this is way too dark. It feels like it's just so much clashing. I want it to be, pretty light like this. So that way it's definitely showing that it's set in the background. So this is way too dark. So I want it to look just like this. So this is way too conflicting. So I'm going to go ahead and change the transparency I'm going to click this because what I actually did was I doubled it. That way it looks a lot more bolder. I'm going to unlock it and then I'm going to duplicate it. So now I have two. So now I'm just going to put this one directly over it. So you see how this one, it's nice, but see how it's also light? I'm going to drag this one directly over it. Now I'm going to go to the text, subheading text, just because I don't want it to be too bold. And then I'm going to put my Canva name. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back to elements. And I believe I got that bar. Well, I know I got that bar from out of here as well. So let me just go back and try to find it. And again, you guys will see like magic recommendations. I'm not using that, but it's just so I can get here. And there we go. So we use this, and I thought this was cute because it kind of looks like a stage a little bit. So I thought that was, nice. It pretty much fit the theme, like blended in with the theme and everything. So I wanted to use that. So I'm going to download the page that we did together, which is the second one. And it's going to throw us over to the side. So when you download it, essentially it'll look like this. You'll have your background has been removed out. You'll have your label. I do use my Cricut maker to cut this out. So it'll actually cut out the shape to a T to make it look like a ticket stub for my candle labels. But you guys have so many different options that you can do as far as like playing around with design. If you guys don't have a Cricut to cut, like custom cut certain shapes like this, you guys can also do it by hand. Like once you print these out, align it, print it out, you guys can actually do it by hand. I just so happen to use my Cricut maker. Now let's say if we were to go to our Cricut, for those of you that do have one, it'll pop up. And once you get your screen up, you go to new. And again, you can do this with any custom shaped labels. Once you add the photo or your label, it'll actually show like this in Canva. This is what is going to cut out. The background, it's because we downloaded with a transparent background, this gray, it goes away. And then we just go to continue. So then what it'll do is it'll show you the shape that it'll cut. Always do, for me personally, I always save as a print and then then cut image. So that way I can print it out and then I can send it to the Cricut to cut it as opposed to just cutting it. So this was Josephine 2. Tags, you can put anything you guys want in there, but I'm going to save it. Now, once I have my Josephine stickers, I'll just go ahead and click on that and I'm going to upload it. Now, your printers essentially will not pick up. I mean, it's not going to print gold. Like I know it's not going to print gold, but what it'll do is print these gold tones. Like, so it'll have like the tones that are in there. If you guys have foliage, you guys can definitely foil over this. I use an inkjet printer, so I cannot use the laminating method, but essentially if you have a laser printer, and there are videos on YouTube all over. So let's go ahead and size this. I'm going to go ahead and unlock it. That way I can edit the size. Okay, now they're all on one photo, on one page. So then you send it to your Cricut to make it and it'll cut it out. But overall, I hope this gave you guys more of a understanding on different things that you can do like fun-wise for your labels. So something very simple and cute and sweet, something very nice that resonates across for many, many people. And then you have something a little bit more complex with Canva. Some people don't really know the extent of things you can do on Canva. So you can definitely do a lot. And this one pretty much summed up some of the cool things that you can do. I do hope that you guys like this video. I will be making more in regards to making labels because I know that is, a tricky topic to deal with because labels aren't the easiest and, they aren't always the most funnest thing to do, especially when you're kind of frustrated on that part. But I'll definitely make more videos to come. I do want to thank you guys for watching and subscribing to all my subscribers so far and all my watched videos so far. I really hope that this can help as regards to just teaching you guys some cool tips that you can learn as far as making your candle labels on Canva. But in the meantime, make sure to like and subscribe. You guys, please share this video, share my other videos, so we can try to help as many people as we can. But aside from that, again, I'm Kira Crafts. I want to thank you guys for all tuning in today, and I'll see you in my next video.